Good morning. This is a drive-through with Don, but with the coronavirus thing, is we're not doing much driving through anything at the moment. There's a lot of businesses shut down. Some of the stuff we do is considered essential, some isn't. So we're kind of in an interesting situation. But I hear a lot of information and data, and a lot of words being used are emotional. And so I want to talk about leadership through any type of crisis, not just the coronavirus, World War II, 2008. Family crisis at home. There's a lot of situations where there's been crises, but there's some principles that every time this occurs, it makes a lot of sense. I think in particular, we've pulled out a couple principles that I think are key for you and your people to keep in mind. One is this thing will end. At some point, the crisis will be over. Problem is I find a lot of fear, anger, angst, and all that lasts long beyond it. It's almost like people pick up the burden of the coronavirus and then they'll keep carrying it on and on and on. And I understand there's a lot of death and problems economically, emotionally that are being created for people. But we also need to make sure is that we're effective about not just being effective now, but we don't carry burdens farther longer than we have to. It wastes a lot of time, energy, resources, and quite frankly, it makes for a less useful, less valuable, less enjoyable life. So I think as leaders, we need to be clear with people, this will end. What we want to do is come out the other side as best off as we can, not all burnt out, exhausted, and still continue to carry the fear. I think the second thing is we should look long term. I've got goals for the next 10 years, 3 years, 1 year. Some of those things are going to be delayed a bit. It's just part of life, part of living. If it wasn't coronavirus, it might have been something else. But I want to continue looking long term. I want my team, my organization, clients, suppliers all looking long term, because without doing that, we're going to miss opportunities. I also think a lot of times knowing something's going to end and looking long term, this allows us to know, hey, it will change, but this allows us to say, hey, here's where the potential win is. Also, it's a good time to improve capabilities. So I'm doing some extra reading. I'm doing some developing and understanding of other parts of business. There's a master's class program I'm part of online, so I'm doing some extra work through the master's class. So you and your team can take time to improve capabilities. Maybe it's processes in the business organization that need to look at or improving. Maybe it's your website y'all haven't looked at in quite a while. It could be sales processes aren't as laid out. Personally, I'm making phone calls, not just to clients, but also prospects, saying, hey, with this going on, anything you need. And I think it's one way to help build the relationship, but also plant some seeds that as we get through this, that'll be ready to sprout. So how can we improve capabilities? Because not all of us, but many of us have some extra time and energy to do that at the moment if we're managing ourselves well. The last thing is we will come out of this better prepared. I think there will be more masks available. I think, and that's a physical thing, so it's not just physical resources will be available, but I think emotionally we'll all be better prepared for stuff like this. Intellectually, we'll know what to do. So while this is bad that it's happening, I get that. Part of the good coming out of it is I do think all of us will be better prepared intellectually, emotionally, and in terms of resources. I think people that don't save money, hopefully now will start to save money and put that money away for if or when we have another virus, or maybe it's their air conditioning system goes out. But the whole point of it is being ready for any crisis, because then it takes a lot of stress out of it because you know how to handle it and have the resources. So I want to share this with you. These are just a few principles to use as a leader when there's crisis, but it will end. Look long term. What can you do right now to improve your capabilities? And we will come out of this better prepared in many regards. So thank you for your time. If you need something, feel free to call me. My cell phone is 919-368-9008. We also have a couple of books out there. We do podcasts. We've written a lot of papers. We've done a lot of stuff if you want some additional support from us, but also very glad to talk to you. Don Hadley, 919-368-9008. Thank you.